All right, Shalom, Yasharala. Before we get started, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to those for elect. You sincere brothers out here that's pushing this word, and you sincere sisters that's listening and learning. May the choice of election be upon your house. All right, we're back in another video, and this will be a news report. All right, news report video. We're going into the articles that's happening around the world. Well, we're going to the articles and things that's happening around the world and link them up with the biblical, with the Bible. All right, with the scriptures, because like we always say, we're living in the latter times. All right, we're living in these final last days. All right, we're in the fourth quarter. All right, 2 minutes. All right, matter of fact, not even 2 minutes. I say fourth quarter. All right, a minute 30 on the clock. All right, or a minute left. All right, and we got one time out. you know, that's when everything's about to this society's about to about to see the the Lord work, do His work, man. All right, the Lord's about to get busy. All right, and Lord willing, we are the elect, we're protected, and we're kept safe. You see, so first let's talk about this. Oh, Salakia. The Now this was recent. This is like just happened today. It says this is from AP News. It says guilty. Trump becomes first former U.S. president convicted of felony crimes. It says Donald Trump became the first former American president to be convicted of felony crimes Thursday as a new New York jury found him guilty of all 34 charges in a scheme to illegally influence the 2016 election through through a hush money payment to a corn actor who said the two had sex. Trump sat stone-faced while the verdict was read as cheering from the street below could be heard in the hallway on the courthouse's 15th floor, where the decision was revealed after more than 9 hours of deliberations. It says this was a rigged, disgraceful trial, an angry Trump told reporters after leaving the courtroom. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. They know what happened, and everyone knows what happened here. Judge Juan Merchant set sentencing for July 11th, just days before the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, where GOP leaders who remain resolute in their support in the aftermath of the verdict are expected to formally make him their nominee. It says the verdict is a stunning legal reckoning for Trump and exposes him to potential prison time in the city where his manipulations of the tabloid press helped catapult him from a real estate tycoon to reality television star and ultimately president. As he seeks to reclaim the White House in this year's election, the judgment presents voters with another test of their willingness to accept Trump's boundary breaking behavior. All right, and you can read more. It says Trump is expected to appeal the verdict and will face an awkward dynamic as he returns to the campaign trail, all right, tagged with convictions. There are no campaign rallies on the calendar for now, though he's expected to appear Friday at Trump Tower and travel Thursday to a fundraiser in Manhattan planned before the verdict, according to 3 people familiar with his plans who are not authorized to speak publicly. Trump's campaign fundraised off the verdict, including a pitch that he called him a political prisoner. And you can read the rest on your own. So that's what's going on with that. Hey, some people they're going to vote for Trump. We have there are a lot of Trump supporters out there. All right, so now Joe Biden gets back into office. I don't know, man. That's going to look like a civil war on the rise. You see, but we hoping that Trump's getting back into office because we know the brothers, they believe in the spirit that he's Nero. All right, he was a Roman Caesar, a Roman ruler back in the day. All right, so and, Trump in the he's been talking about bringing back if you could find the right sources, all right, guillotines and firing squads, all right. So we hoping and praying because that's going to set off a lot of things, man. So we hoping and praying that he gets back in the office. But if he doesn't, something will happen. All right. Eventually, this devil is going to come down with a great wrath. You see. But let's move on to the people's voice. All right. It says the bird flu plant pandemic is nearly here. Right. They've been talking about this a lot. It says the official bird flu narrative continues to move forward. Back in April, the scaremongering stories were ramped up. We were told that the bird flu was jumping from bird to cows and from cows to humans, and it was even suggested that we should stop eating red meat. And they are still determined to shut down our food supply. They may, I said Salakia, then in May, it was reported that 70 people in Colorado were being monitored for bird flu symptoms following potential exposure. Details on the exact nature or method of exposure were not released for some reason. A poultry worker in Michigan became the second official U.S. bird flu case on May 21st. Now we hear that another egg farm, this time in Iowa, is about to call millions of healthy birds after a single case was detected. But never fear, new jump shots, both for the birds and the humans, are being developed, Slovakia, with COVID, with 2020 like efficiency. You see, so it says the Off Guard reports there are new fears that bird flu may have spread to the food supply after it was found in a condemned dairy cow. 4 days ago, Forbes reported a new study claiming drinking infected milk could spread disease, while NPR is warning that limited testing leaves safety questions unanswered regarding raw, unpasteurized milk. But it's not just chickens and cows we have to worry about now. The Atlantic is worried about pigs. Now they're talking about pigs, which you shouldn't be eating pork anyway. It says, with Catherine Wu calling them the bird flu hosts we should worry about. Just today, the Telegraph reported that a slight evolution in the H5N1 influenza strain has allowed it to adapt to mammalian hosts. One ecologist told Phys.org that infections in dairy cows are just the tip of the iceberg, and that mammals all over the globe are infected. It's spreading outside America too. The world's third human case, right, was supposedly an Australian child recently returned from traveling in India. Alongside that, 2 Victorian farms have reported cases of different strain. It says naturally China is going along with it, reporting their own fatality due to a third strain of bird flu earlier today. So that's the problem, chunnering along at a decent pace. How's the solution coming along? An article in Medical Express discusses the ethical considerations for various bird flu interventions. New jump shots both for chickens and humans are being developed, like I said up at the top, So this is the new narrative. All right, they're going to come with this, and if it starts to grow, they're going to treat it like, 2020, because it does say in the Bible, all right, in the scriptures. Let's get Mark. What the fuck? Salakia. Mark 13 and 7, it says, and when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for these things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in divers places, and there shall be famines and troubles. It says, these are the beginning of sorrows. Let's get another one. Yeah, let's go to Luke 21. All right. It should say, yep. Luke 21 and 10. Then he said unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And great earthquakes shall be in divers places, and famines, and pestilences, and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. Let's get this word pestilence. All right. Loimos. It says pestilence, a pestilent fellow, pest plague. It says literally the disease, or figuratively a pestilence. So it's literally it's a disease. You see, and then you talking about this H5N1. All right, so this could be the new pestilence that's coming, the new pandemic that they're planning for. You see, let's get this other article I have. I'm gonna save that so I can put it in a link. All right, Plandemic 2.0 from the People's Voice. CDC says symptoms of, bird flu, right, include having no symptoms. So how does that make sense? See, but we're going on. It says in an announcement that harks back to the days of 2020 hoax for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC has claimed. Give me 1 second. It's lock you. It says in an announcement that harks back the dark days of the 2020 hoax, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC) has claimed that one of the symptoms of H5N1 bird flu in humans is having no symptoms. And how does that make sense? Right? Having a symptom is having no symptoms. So basically, you know, if I have no symptoms, I have the bird flu. They just making stuff up as they go along. But continuing on, it says, "Are you prepared for the authorities to roll out draconian lockdowns, mask and mandatory jump shots to protect you from people who allegedly have bird flu, even though they are not sick?" You see, it says illness in humans from avian influenza virus infections have ranged in severity from no symptoms or mild illness to severe disease that resulted in death, according to the updated CDC. Anybody who's paying attention to the maneuvers of the elite would be forgiven for thinking we are experiencing our own Groundhog Day. After all, the elite shut down the world to protect us, and quote from 2020, the C. ragamuffin, a virus they describe as a terrifying, severe acute respiratory syndrome with symptoms that include no symptoms. Incredibly, in what the mainstream media is claiming is a coincidence, a Gates of Hell funded bird flu jump shot for the H5N1 strain has just entered trials. Gates appeared to set a cash in on the crisis, publishing a statement on a global agreement to distribute the jump shot to developing nations. The philanthropist, who was on record promoting jump shots as his best buys that provide a 20-to-1 return on investment, appears to have predicted the future with uncanny accuracy once again. It really is Groundhog Day. So, you know, this is what's coming. This is what they up to. All right, let's get what's another one I'm thinking of? Let's get Jeremiah. You know, Jeremiah 14, and I'm sorry at 10. It says, "Thus said the Lord Yahweh unto this people, thus have they loved to wander, they have not refrained their feet, therefore the Lord doth not accept them. He will now remember their iniquity and visit their sins. Then said the Lord unto me, Pray not for this people for their good. When they fast, I will not hear their cry, and when they offer burnt offering and oblation, I will not accept them. But I will consume them by the sword, and by the famine, and by the pestilence." You see? So the Lord's going to bring that pestilence. And this could be another one, just like 2020. You see? Let's get Ezekiel. I think that's 7. Ezekiel 7. And 14, they have blown the trumpet even to make all ready, but none go to the battle. For my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. The sword is without, the pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. Let's get this in NLT. All right. It says, the trumpet calls Israel's army to mobilize, but no one listens, for my fury is against them all. There is war outside the city, and disease and famine within. Those outside the city walls will be killed by enemy swords. Those inside the city will die of famine and disease. You see, but this happened back, during the time in of Ezekiel. All right, but this will happen again. You see, this is sometimes the scriptures can be twofold. This will happen in the coming days. A lot of these people are gonna die, by the sword, in the wars, the race wars. All right. The actual wars going on in the outside, in the army with the civil war, right? Again against other nations. And a lot of people they're gonna die, from the famine, from this new disease they coming up with. All right. So a lot of people gonna be dying out here, man. Speaking of war, let's get this from End Time Headlines. It says House lawmakers move to register men for potential military draft when they reach 18. A new plan from House lawmakers will automatically register men for a potential military draft when they hit age 18, avoiding potential legal consequences connected to failing to file the paperwork at the proper time. Language included in the House Armed Service Committee's draft of the annual Defense Authorization Bill would mandate the automatic registration of all males between ages 18 and 26 living in America in the Selected Service System, the federal database used for a military draft in case of a national emergency. So they're going to start drafting people soon, right? That military draft going to come back. The system hasn't been used for that purpose for 52 years. But men who fail to register can face a host of legal consequences, including forfeiture of eligibility for federal programs and possible jail time. And I believe I read this in another article, during another news report. But the number of individuals who have skipped registering has increased in recent years, in large part because registration options were removed from the federal student loan process 2 years ago that had accounted for nearly a quarter of all registrations in prior years. Chrissy Houlihan sponsored the automatic registration language and called it both a money-saving and common-sense reform. It says by using available federal databases, the Selective Service Agency will be able to register all of the individuals required and thus help ensure that any future military draft is fair and equitable. She said during debate on the idea Wednesday night, and nobody really wants to fight for Babylon anymore. You see, because they know Babylon, America is done, it's through. Jeremiah 51, and let me see, 30. It says the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might have failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. So the men of Babylon, even the ones in the army, it's the army of Babylon is failing. Nobody wants to fight for America anymore. Back in the day, people wanted to be in an army. But now it's like there's no point because people are waking up and realizing these are just bankers wars, really. You see. But war, is prophesied, and so is the military draft. It doesn't say it, but if you read between the lines, if you're spiritually right, you'll know. Revelation 19 and 19. I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. And they're gonna. This is what they're really preparing for. They're preparing to fight. All right, Yahushua and the angels when they return. You see. Let me get Isaiah. I think that's 3 and 25. Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy men and thy mighty in the war. See, and her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. You see, so the men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. What war? The wars, that's going on out in the streets. But that military draft, the war, fighting these, World War III. All right, that's prophesied. That's gonna come. You see. So these things, we see prophecy is right in our face, man. It's right at the door, and ultimately all things are gonna lead to the mark of the beast. You know. So, hey, Lil, this was an edifying news report. All right, quick and straight to the point. Lil Willie was edifying to you brothers and sisters. I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. You sincere brothers out here that's pushing his word, and you sincere sisters that's listening and learning. May the choice of election be upon your house. All right, Lord willing, it was edifying. Until the next video, Shalom, Kwam Yasharala, Wa Baba Ba.